Well, welcome to our role play tapes. We're so happy to have you watching them. You are about to be watching the Friedman Group role players as they show you the fundamental techniques and strategies of each of the steps that we've covered in our selling tapes. Now, as you watch them, be careful to understand that, of course, this isn't your store, but the techniques themselves will be covered very clearly in each of the modules. So let's begin. Now, we have covered the fundamentals of opening the sale. Now, pay particular attention to the way the 180-degree pass-by is executed. Now, remember, this simple approach is an extremely effective way to ease into a person-to-person relationship with your customer, instead of using that, "Hi, I'm a salesperson" approach that triggers the customer's automatic response, "I'm just looking." Well, let's go ahead and take a look.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Good. You know what, I couldn't help but notice the car you drove up in. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. I got about 6 months ago. I love it.
Oh,
it just runs great.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like a home on wheels, isn't it?
Really, it's amazing how it changes your lifestyle. You have a nice car, and even when I'm in a traffic jam, it doesn't bother me anymore.
Is it more relaxing in that?
Oh, yeah. It's like your own living room.
I've been looking at those myself.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, well, you sold me. So what brings you into the store today?
I'm just looking.
Oh, okay, great. Sounds like fun. What kind of things are you looking for?
Well, actually, I'm looking for a pair of skis. I'm going skiing next month.
Oh, sounds like fun. That's coming up soon. Is it,
Hi, how you doing today?
Okay.
Great. Boy, did you catch that fight last night?
Oh, did I ever?
Oh, my.
Man, I tell you, you couldn't pay me enough to get in the ring and get hit in the face like that.
That guy is tough. I tell you, huh? Man, oh, man. I remember him. Do you remember when he was the Olympics?
Oh, yeah.
He took that guy down in the second round?
Second round. This guy works fast. You couldn't pay me enough money. I don't care. What's it, $30,000?
Yeah,
I'm not going in that ring.
You get the money, then you're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. So what brings you in our store today?
I'm just looking.
Oh, that's always fun. What are you looking for?
Well, actually, I need a regulator.
Oh, wow. What's a special occasion?
I'm going on a dive next month to the islands. The old regulator just about had it.
Uh-huh. Which island you going to? That sounds like a lot of fun.
The Bahamas. Beautiful water. Just clear.
Man.
It's really nice.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to get down there. You're going to take a camera? Take some snapshots of the fish down there?
Actually, yeah.
Now, did you notice what happened when the salesperson asked, "What brings you into our store today?" and the customer responded with, "I'm just looking," or "I'm just browsing"? The salesperson used the takeaway, the technique we use to take away your customer's defensive shield. Now, I personally could never overemphasize the point that the answer to "I'm just looking" on behalf of your customer, or "I'm just browsing," is not a cheerful, "Okay, go ahead" by you. No, no, no. This is where it gets very interesting. You're getting to the good part of the whole process here. Don't let the customer walk away now. Find out what they're looking for. Find out what they're browsing for. Find out what they'd like to find here in our store while they're killing time. That's right. Live up to your title. There's a reason for the word sales in the title, salesperson. So, in this next role play, pay close attention to how our salesperson uses the takeaway when the customer says, "I'm just getting ideas." Now, I'd also like you to watch how you can still use the 180-degree pass-by concept without physically passing by your customer. This is especially important to learn if you're often selling from behind a counter. You'll see our salesperson working on a display, greeting the customer, turning back to his display for just a moment, then delivering his opening line to the customer. This has the same effect as physically passing by the customer. It allows the customer to feel welcome in your store without feeling pounced upon. Let's take another look.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine, hi.
Great. So you all set for the big fireworks display tonight?
Well, yeah, actually. I'm going to take my family and watch them.
Oh, great. You have kids?
I have two. I have two kids. Yeah, they love them.
How old are they?
One is 2 and the other one's 5.
Getting them started on fireworks already?
Oh, they love them in the dark skies.
Yeah. Ooh and ah while. You got to practice those.
Right, exactly.
Do you go and watch them in the stands, or do you have a spot you go to?
Well, actually, yeah, we have a little hill that we go to, and there's a group.
Oh,
that
nice.
goes every year. Yeah.
Like a family outing, or?
The whole family's going to be there. We're going to bring food. And
Oh, that sounds like fun.
should be fun.
Great.
Fun, yeah.
Well, what brings you into our store today?
I'm just getting some ideas.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What kind of things are you getting ideas about?
Well, actually, I have a plant at home that's just dying, and so I need another one. Yeah, to replace it.
What kind of plant is it?
It's called a China doll.
Now, this next role play depicts the verbal contract. Remember that? That's the technique you use when you're assisting one customer and another one comes in the store. Now, instead of watching that other customer look around for a moment, then leave your store, take a moment to say hello and let them know that you'll be right with them. Here's a great way to do that.
It's very difficult to decide. Both of them would really be perfect, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would. Gosh, I just don't know.
Well, I tell you what, maybe you want to just sit here and ponder with them for a little bit?
Okay.
Okay. I tell you, would it be okay if I just go and let this customer know that I'll be with him shortly? Would that be all right?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Could you do me a favor?
Sure.
I'm just finishing up with this customer, and I'll be with you in just a little bit. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure. Take your time.
Thank you. So what's the decision?
Gosh.
Now, wasn't that a nice and professional way to acknowledge a customer that comes in when you're very busy? You never have to let your business walk away from you. That's not very much fun. So I'm sure you're beginning to see how important it is to develop a friendly rapport with your customer before getting into business. But what if your customer marches right up and asks you a business-related question before you even get a chance to make that friendly conversation? Well, do you forget about schmoozing and skip right into the selling part of your presentation? Well, not if you want to give the customer a good feeling about buying from you in particular. Now watch how our salesperson manages to ease in a little schmoozing, even though the customer starts things off with a business-related question.
Excuse me.
Hi, how are you today?
Hi, fine, thanks. Do you carry Ardmore refrigerators?
Oh, yes, we do.
Good.
Wow, so you've been to the big sale over at Bentley's today, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty wild over there.
Oh, I had a feeling. When I pulled in at 8 o'clock this morning, there was a line of about 20 people waiting to get in.
Well, I was one of them.
So is there anything even left in the store?
You might want to run over there pretty fast.
I think I better head over my break. So why are you looking for a refrigerator?
Well, ours is about 10 years old, and we just wanted to...
Well, now it's your turn. Role play these techniques with your coworkers and your manager and get comfortable with the whole idea of starting things off right with your customers. Remember, if you build a solid foundation, you're well on your way to building a skyscraper of a sale. Well, welcome to probing. I think you'd agree that the need for this probing step is fairly obvious. Naturally, you have to find out what your customers want and why they want it if you're going to be the one that's going to sell to them. But we all know that very few salespeople out there in the world of selling ask very good probing questions, if at all. So though it's obvious and it makes perfect sense, probing doesn't seem to come naturally to most salespeople while they're on the floor. To really get the hang of it, you've got to make a conscientious effort to ask probing questions each and every time you assist a customer. Then after a while, well, it'll become quite natural. Now, in these first few role plays, I want you to pay close attention to the first few probing questions the salesperson always asks. And notice how effective it is to ask, what's the special occasion? Now, watch how the customer responds and how it sets the probing process in motion, whether there's a special occasion or not.
Oh, I know just what you mean. So what brings you into our store today?
Well, I am looking for a new set of golf clubs.
A new set of clubs?
Yeah.
All right. What's the special occasion?
No occasion. I'm tired of getting beat by my buddies.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
That's a special occasion, then.
I think so.
It's time to stop losing. You put any money on those games?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you really need a new set
We're
of clubs.
talking, I'm losing $5, $10 a week, and
Oh, no.
I can't handle this anymore.
Well, we better get you set up then.
Yeah.
How often do you play?
I play about once a week, maybe a little more, a little less, depending on, business and family, that kind of thing.
How much time you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's never enough time, is there?
You can't have enough time for golf.
Where do you play at?
I like to play out at Riverwood.
Oh, God, that's a great course,
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
love it out there.
It's pretty tough, isn't it?
It's tough on me, I know that.
You must have a pretty good handicap then.
Yeah, I played with about a 14 or so these days.
Wow, great. Well, what kind of clubs do you have now?
Right now, I got an old set of Morgans.
Morgans?
I think it's the original golf club.
Okay.
And all my friends have got these things that I swear they're laser guided. So I want to get something that's a little more high tech.
You get yourself back in the game there?
That's it.
Great. What about the Morgans don't you like?
Well, when I got them, I was a lot younger. So I was able to, they're pretty heavy and they've kind of got a stiff shaft. So I was thinking I'd get something a little lighter, a little more flexible.
Okay. What else are you looking for in a set of clubs?
Well, we got all these mid-size clubs and the extra large heads, so I'm kind of looking at that and maybe something in a graphite shaft.
Okay. Great. Well, by the way, my name's Scott.
Hey, I'm Bob.
Bob.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Well, based on what you told me, I got a couple sets of clubs that I think would just be terrific for you. Get you right back in that ball game, get you ready to win some more money.
Terrific. Let's take a look at them.
Okay, great. Let's go swing some clubs.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be wonderful fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, good. So what brings you in today?
Well, I've got a buddy, and he's getting married.
Well, my goodness. And when is he getting married?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday. That's coming up fast.
I don't think he's ready for it, to be honest with you. I think
There's not many men that are probably ready for marriage.
I know I wasn't.
Oh, my goodness. Well, so what have you seen before that you think they'd like?
Well, to be honest with you, I just started looking, so I really have no idea.
We were trying to get some ideas. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about the couple, and maybe I can steer you towards something.
Well, he likes to cook.
He likes to cook?
I remember that much about him. He's been a bachelor for years, and so he cooks quite a bit.
Turned into a gourmet.
Yeah,
huh?
pretty much he
All
is.
right. Okay, well, do you know what kinds of things he likes to cook?
Well, he's a health nut, too, so he's into this macrobiotics and all this kind of stuff.
Okay, all right. And tell me about the bride.
Well, I really don't know her at all.
Okay.
I've seen her picture. She looks healthy, so
All
I
right.
guess she must be a health nut, too.
And she must be if she's marrying him, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I've got an idea. What would you think about a juicer? Possibly,
juicer?
if he's a health nut. They've got juicers. Come on over here and let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
All right?
Okay. Juicer sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Now, this is the queen.
I know what you mean there. So what brings you in today?
Well, I think it's time for a new laptop.
Oh, really? What's the special occasion?
I just got promoted.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks.
That's great.
I'm just finding out, though, it comes with a lot more work, and I'm going to have to do a lot more work on the road, and, well, the old laptop just isn't cutting the mustard anymore.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm sure once you get settled into the new position, your workload will lighten up.
Boy, I hope so.
Yeah. So what kind of work do you do?
I'm a financial analyst, which means I deal with the spreadsheets. Only now I find out I'm going to have to get involved with signing up accounts, and that means I'm going to have to deal with that multimedia presentational stuff,
You don't sound real enthused about that.
Well, I'm sure it'll be all right. It's just I never thought of myself as being the creative type, and, well, it should be interesting.
Hey, look, don't worry about the creative stuff. There are a lot of programs out there these days that they'll make you look like a graphic artist.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So tell me, what kind of things have you seen out there that you think you might really like?
Well, I've been looking at different ones, but when it comes right down to it, I'd like to stick with the brand that I have now. It's a WinSap, and it's just I'm familiar with the style and everything, and they've just changed so much. It's time to upgrade.
Okay. So what would you like to be different this time?
Well, the laptop I have right now, it just creeps. I've only got like 8 megs of RAM, and I'm going to need at least 230 megs of storage. So, I want something that works faster. Also want it to be lightweight, and I've only got a black and white monitor now.
Oh, color is definitely the way to go.
Yeah,
Makes
I'm ready
those
for
charts
color.
look great. You know what? You're giving me a great place to start. I've got a laptop in mind that I think you will love. May I show it to you?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, great. Right this way.
Okay.
I hope you're enjoying how these role plays relate to the techniques and strategies that we have in the workbook. Now, in this next particular role play, listen carefully when the customer tells the salesperson what she indeed is looking for. Sometimes when a customer uses incorrect terminology or pronounces a brand name wrong, our natural tendency would be to correct them. Well, this only makes the customer feel embarrassed or even worried that they're going to be taken advantage of because they're shown that they don't know much about the item that they're in fact shopping for. So here's the rule. If you know what your customer is asking for, try not to correct them. Now let that incorrect terminology go by for now and continue to probe and to zero in on all the details that will help you to choose the very right product to demonstrate. Let's take a look at a pro at work.
Well, that's wonderful to know about. Really, I'm always looking for a good place to go and have fish.
Oh, you love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Very
Okay.
good.
So what brings you in today?
Well, we're looking for a VCR camera.
A VC. Oh, great. So you need to do some taping, huh? What's the special occasion?
Well, we got a little preschooler. He's going to be graduating soon, and they have a ceremony now. We wanna get
Graduating from preschool?
From preschool.
Uh-huh.
They're having a ceremony?
Oh, yeah. They give them the gowns, little caps with the tassels.
Very
They
cute.
play the pomp and circumstance. It's wonderful.
Precious.
It's a rehearsal for college.
So we've got to have it.
I
We've got to have it on
never
film.
knew they did such a thing.
That's great.
Oh, you have to have this on tape.
We do.
This is going to be precious.
I can't believe we've gone this long without one.
Well, right. Oh, you missed him walking?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to rectify this right away.
We
Absolutely.
You
do.
still
We
have a
do.
few years to catch up there.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's wonderful. That sounds so much fun. I don't even remember them having preschools when I was growing up.
Oh, they
No.
did.
Let alone having.
Yeah, we only had Captain Kangaroo. That's
Exactly.
what it was.
Exactly. We were at home watching Captain Kangaroo.
That's right.
Exactly.
Oh, in Romper Room. Yes.
Well, we can't wait. So
Oh, it's going to be fun.
we want to get the right
Well,
one.
okay. Now, what kinds of things have you seen before that you really liked?
Well, we've looked at a bunch of different
Yeah.
models, but they're like confusing. It's
Really
like programming
complicated.
your VCR. It's I
Well, there's
looked
so many to choose from.
Yeah.
And you start looking, and there's just all the buttons, and
Right.
it's
We,
like,
we want
which
something
one?
very simple.
Right.
And you know what we don't
Okay.
want is our next door neighbor has one, and whenever he shows film, it's like too dark. It's like a monster
Oh,
movie. There's
yeah.
like not enough light, and the images are
Right.
real dark.
There
we want
are,
something
there
clear.
are some cameras that don't do well in a low light situation.
Yeah.
And so that would be something that would be important to you.
Oh.
So we'll make sure that the camera that we select takes care of
Good.
that.
Everything,
All
whether we're outside or in a
Right.
dark room, we can follow them anywhere.
Right.
Right.
Well, and you go to a party or something. There's a lot of low light situations that you don't think about.
Absolutely.
And those are the times when you want to use your camera. So,
Well, we'll probably
so
use it
make sure
next
that-
month when my sister gets married.
Yeah.
And
There
so
you
that'll
go.
be indoors and outdoors
There
at the
you
reception.
go.
So
That's always fun because the home, is she having anyone else tape it professionally too or not?
yeah, probably so.
But
We want
the
our own
home,
version.
the home videos always catch more candid moments.
They're
don't you
better.
think?
They're
Right.
better,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's see. We low light. We want it to be simple to use. Where else? Can you think of any other application of it? Where you'd be using it?
Well,
that
he's
I
going to
should
be
know
playing
about?
soccer. We want to
Oh,
get that
yeah.
too.
So outside.
Yeah, he's on
Outside
the
on the
soccer
soccer
team.
team.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we need something for action, sports.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, just a little bunch of little boys kind of clumped together up and down a field, but yeah.
They don't understand lanes at this point,
No,
do they?
but they're very cute.
They are cute. Oh,
And they're
gosh,
so
that's
serious,
love
too.
it.
It's
Oh,
so funny
yes.
to see them. They're so young and they're so
yeah.
serious about winning the game.
Oh, well, this is so fun.
But it's
Well, we
fun
got
to
to get you the perfect camera, all right?
right.
Based on what you've told me, I've got a couple of ideas. Why don't we go take a look?
You know, there are a lot of salespeople out there who would have corrected that customer when she asked for a VCR camera. Again, if you know what your customer wants and what they mean, well, maybe you ought to let it go for now. I mean, what would you rather do? Hear her use the correct terminology or sell her a camcorder? And did you notice how the salesperson took every opportunity to, quote unquote, hang out and schmooze with her customers about their kids? Couldn't you just see the rapport building? They were actually having fun during the selling process. Can you imagine that? And as a result, the customer started to feel better and better about making a purchase from that nice person who was helping them. Well, that's how it really can work. It really is that simple. I encourage you to take a special interest in your customers and their needs, and they'll be happy to help you make the sale. Now, in our next role play, our salesperson encounters the price shopper, the customer who knows just what she wants and is simply shopping for the very best price. Now watch how this particular role player describes the advantages of making a purchase in his store and causes the customer to begin to value more than just the lowest price.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. So what brings you into our store today?
Well, I'd just like to know what you sell those 27-inch Samuel TVs for.
Well, sounds like you know exactly what you want.
I do.
That's a great TV. What's the special occasion?
Oh, there's really not a special occasion.
New TV season's coming up, and I want to be sure and get one before then.
Right.
Well, that really is a terrific TV. What made you decide on that TV?
Well, I've been shopping around some, and I pretty much know what I want. I just want to get the best price that I can.
I can understand that. What's the best price you've seen so far?
$549.
Did that come with an extended warranty?
Gosh, I don't think so.
Because I think you'll find our prices are very competitive, but there's really more to consider than just the price of the TV itself. For example, we have an extended warranty at a terrific price, so you know if anything goes wrong with the TV after the manufacturer's warranty has expired, you know you're covered. And we're also an authorized Samuel Service Center, so you know you can depend on us. And that kind of assurance is important, don't you think?
Oh, I suppose so, and quite frankly, I had not even thought about a warranty.
Well, why don't we take a look at your TV, and you can tell me what else it is about the TV that you like.
Okay.
Great, let's go.
Well, have you ever encountered a salesperson who seems more like a bouncer than a professional? Well, customers ask for items all the time that you may not have, and it seems like salespeople bounce them right out the door. No, sorry, we don't have that. Go away. We don't carry that brand. Try us again some other day. Well, you know what? It sounds pretty funny, but it happens all the time, doesn't it, really? How many times have you had to come up with a plan B all by yourself after you discovered that a store didn't have what you were looking for? Wouldn't it have been nice to have a little help from that salesperson, or at least a suggestion, an alternative possibly? Well, when a customer asks for a brand that you don't sell or an item that you don't have at that moment, your job is to do your very best to satisfy them with what you do have, or at least help them to get what they want. Now, most customers don't enjoy going from store to track down what they want. That's a fact. Their mission is to find what they're looking for and buy it as efficiently as possible. Now, our next role play shows how a salesperson can offer an alternative in a helpful and friendly manner.
Yeah, actually, I've heard it's great if you like spicy food, huh?
Oh, I love it. Oh, the hotter the better.
Yeah. So what brings you into the store today?
Actually, I wanted to see if you carried Carmella Cosmetics.
Oh, Carmella. Actually, that's a great line. Why is it you're looking for that particular brand?
A friend of mine at work uses it, and she suggested that I try it too. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. What is it that she likes best about Carmella? Do you know?
Well, actually, she said it was great for oily skin, and I definitely have oily skin.
Oh,
so.
yeah, that can be tough. I do too. We aren't carrying that brand this year, but if you're concerned about a makeup that's going to work really well with your particular skin type, I do have another brand that, you know what, I think you're going to absolutely love. In fact, I use it myself.
Yeah.
I'd love to show it to you. May I?
Sure.
Great.
So what do you think? Do you like the idea of probing for information that will really help you to build a wonderful sale? Do you agree that asking, may I help you, is as effective as, are you going to buy anything from me today? Well, I assure you that as you build your probing skills, you're going to open yourself up to some really wonderful selling experiences. So get ready to see some big smiles on the faces of your customers when you do a great job of finding out just what they want, then presenting them with exactly what they were looking for. Well, it's showtime, the really fun part of selling, the demonstration itself. Well, you've gathered lots of details, I hope, about what your customer is looking for and why they want it. And now all you have to do is choose the exact right item that suits your customers' wants, needs, and desires and show it to them. Well, keeping those identified needs in mind is really the key to a successful demonstration. Now, notice how the salesperson in each of the 2 role plays you're about to see keeps mentioning things that the customer told her during the probing process and tying them directly to the product's features, advantages, and benefits.
And based on everything that you told me, this is the garment bag that I had in mind for you for several reasons. But number one, let's just take a look. Feel how hard this is. One of the nice things about it, it's got hard sides. So it protects your clothing from getting crushed so much because of the hard sides. And so when you get to your business meeting, you don't have to worry about your suit being wrinkled because your bag was in the bottom of the airplane as it always is.
That's
right?
happened to me before, right.
Right? So that would be a good thing to know, wouldn't it? Now, second, you mentioned that you carry a sample case a lot. And I want you to just feel down here. Okay. The next nice thing is that it's got a handle. So how easy that is to pop up there.
You never have enough arms and legs when you're leaving.
It's got a handle and wheels, okay? So because of the hard side here, you just pop your sample case right on here or anything else that you might have, and you can wheel it along in comfort. And I think that whenever you're traveling, any hassle you can take away, you should.
Oh,
so
I
that
agree.
you can feel a little bit rested when you get to your destination instead of haggard from carrying bags all over. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree 100%.
Okay, all right. Why don't we open up the sides here and look at some of the compartments inside, because I think you'll like that as well.
All right.
And you know, Bob, a great thing about this model is the seat is recumbent. That means you can see you're reclining back a little bit. It's going to bring your knees and your legs up closer to your chest. It's going to give you a better abdominal workout. And you mentioned that was one area you really wanted to target, right?
Yeah, that's true. I've been getting kind of porky lately.
So I think you can feel pretty good about this machine that's really going to work that area.
Okay.
Also, another great thing is this knob here. It varies the resistance so that as you ride the machine more, you get better at it. You can actually vary the resistance to give you a better workout, to get the maximum workout you can get. And that way you'll feel good about having a machine that's going to grow with you, not something you're going to get tired of and, advance from before too long. So actually, why don't you give that a try? Turn the knob a bit to the right.
All right.
Let's push up the resistance a bit more. Give it a shot. See what you think.
Oh, yeah.
You feel that?
Oh, boy, this is terrific.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
This is a lot like fun.
And if you push it to the right, it'll go up even more.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, yes.
How's it feel?
Now, when you're selling merchandise that's complex or changes rapidly with technology, well, you're bound to encounter confused customers. Well, I know what you're thinking. If you sell anything, you're bound to encounter confused customers. Well, you're right, that's for sure. Sometimes customers are shopping for things they just aren't familiar with. They feel uncomfortable. They have concerns that are irrelevant, maybe. Maybe they're worried also about a product defect that has been corrected for years. But you know what? Every single concern is relevant if it's going to prevent you from making a sale today. So when a customer seems uncertain or uncomfortable, take their concern very seriously and take the time to set their mind at ease. Do it in an extremely friendly and loving manner. And you're likely not only to make the sale, but gain a loyal customer as a result. Let's take a look at an example.
Now, one of the nice things about this computer is that it comes with 8 meg of RAM, which is upgradable to a maximum of 36 meg. So you'll have enough memory to run the type of software you normally use, and you don't have to worry about your computer slowing you down when your mind's working so fast. Speed's important, isn't it?
Yeah, but 8 megabytes of RAM, is that going to be enough? Because my wife and I always store all of our stuff on there. All our accounts and everything is on there.
Well, this computer also has a 250 megabyte hard drive, which is actually where your files are stored. So that's a significant amount of space, considering the type of documents you talked about don't have a lot of graphics, so they don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, so then the 8 megabytes of RAM, that's enough?
Yeah, because the 8 meg you can think about as your memory. And the 250 megabyte hard drive that I was talking about, you can think about that as your storage space.
Oh, okay.
So you have plenty of room to store the kind of things you were talking about.
That sounds terrific. Well, sounds good. Let's get it.
Okay. Well, should we pick out a couple games so you have something to do in your leisure time?
Yeah, but don't tell my wife I'm getting the games, okay?
Oh, I won't.
No, okay.
I just want the chance to,
Now, during your demonstration, you not only have the chance to show off the merchandise that your customers came in to buy, but you get to show them how buying the entire package, all the accessories and related items, will allow them to enjoy their purchase even that much more. Now watch how the salesperson in this next role play gives the customer a great reason to go for the entire package.
Well, this is so exciting. I'm so glad you decided to take a more lengthy ski trip this year. I love it when I get to introduce people to all the equipment. Let me tell you a couple things before I show you some things. First of all, there's the technical aspect of the skiing. I mean, we're going to get you outfitted with your skis and your boots and bindings and your poles, and that's the equipment, and that'll get you straight down the hill. But there's something else to think about, too, and that's the weather and the comfort. Because you have those things working against you when you're starting to shush the slopes, and you have the wind coming in, and you've got the wetness if you fall down in the snow once in a while.
Which I will.
And you've got the cold. So you want to be all set for that, too.
True.
A lot of my customers have ruined some ski trips because they thought they could get away with just blue jeans or a navy jacket or something like that. So you really got to wear clothing that's comfortable so that you're going to be warm and dry when you're shushing down the slopes as well. So there's the equipment, technical aspect of it, and then there's the comfort factor, and that's where I'd like to start here. We've got a number of great sweaters.
Now, oftentimes, salespeople find themselves in situations where customers ask them to compare one item to another. Sometimes they want to know which one is better. Other times, your customers want to know why one costs more than the other. Now, the important thing to remember is that in both of these situations is not to make negative statements about any of the products that you sell. Instead, point out that the features, advantages, and benefits that distinguish each product, or the additional features that may make a product more costlier to produce, is a consideration. Explain that each product for sure has its advantages and its benefits, and that it truly is a matter of personal taste, or what in fact will suit their needs the best. Now watch how our role players handle a few of these situations.
You know, I'm the same way. I don't think I've worn anything but cross trainers since they came out with these shoes. I love them.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they both feel good, and they're both great shoes. Which one do you think is better?
Well, you know what? Like you said, both of these shoes are great shoes, and they both have unique features that kind of individualize them or specialize them to your specific needs. Take, for example, this shoe here. One of the nice things about it is that it has a low ankle support here. That allows for a little bit more flexibility, a little more range of motion, you know, for some of the sports that, in fact, you were describing that you played. You know, and wouldn't you think that a little more flexibility in some of the things you're doing would...
Yeah, especially when I'm playing handball. That really, you need that flexibility.
Exactly, exactly. However, another great thing about this shoe here is the mesh panel. Now, what this mesh panel does is it actually allows the shoe to breathe a little more. So on some of those hot days, in fact, like this weather we're having right now, it's really hot.
Oh, yeah.
Say you're out there running or playing a little basketball in this shoe, it's going to keep your feet a little bit cooler. And, you know, keeping cool is definitely important, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know what? I mean, you put it that way. Let's go with this shoe.
Yeah, because, I mean, as you see, it really depends on what you're looking for. And the flexibility to take pictures in a low light setting makes it easier to use. You don't have to worry about a flash, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, but why is this one so much more expensive?
Oh, well, that's simple. Like I said before, you have the autofocus here, and then you also have the red eye reduction and the super zoom, and all those features add up to make the camera just a little bit more expensive to produce. But now it also, those features add up and make the camera a little bit more versatile. And so it's an added benefit for someone such as yourself who could use those features. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and you know, the zoom is very important to me. I mean, I can get pictures very clear close up. That's true.
Well, it's really hard to say. Both of them are really nice cookbooks. This one, I think, the recipes tend to be easier to make. This one gets a little more, you know, this is borderline gourmet sometimes, I think. There's a few recipes in there that are easier.
You know,
But as a whole.
I really enjoy her programs on television.
She's fun to watch, isn't she?
But you know, I'm seeing what you mean. So I do. I think that one's going to be better.
All right. So you want to go with this one?
Yes, I like that one.
Okay.
So, there you have it. It's as simple as dot-to-dot drawing. Just make the connection between your customer's needs and the product's features, advantages, and benefits, and off you go. And never, never forget that when you're on the floor, right here, selling your heart out, it is always showtime. Well, I'm sure you'll agree that we've determined that the trial close is a very effective way to close the sale and to attempt an add-on simultaneously. Let's take a look at what happens when the customer says no to the add-on.
And to complete the set, that snorkel is the most state-of-the-art one available.
Great.
Well, how about a perfectly matched set for your husband, so both your husband and your son will be perfectly matched and will enjoy the vacation that much more?
Well, you know what? Actually, my husband's all set up already. So I think we'll just take this.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Your son's going to be so excited.
Oh, yes, he will.
I think that's perfect for an infant.
I think so, too.
She'll probably get lots and lots of clothes from all the grandparents and everything.
Sure, and she can tease on the book.
Absolutely. I have this in a really nice gift box, too.
Okay,
So we'll get
terrific.
that for you. We got the Legos for the 3-year-old. You said a 7-year-old nephew, and this is the one you said was a pretty smart kid.
Yeah, he's real bright.
Okay, well,
Real
I'm thinking for him, how about this puzzle here of the United States that has different landmarks and things? So he'll have a toy from you that's not only fun, but it's educational as well.
Well, you know, I think I'm going to wait on that and go in with my sister and get him something.
Okay, got something else planned for
Yeah,
him, all right?
she-
So who else is on the shopping list?
Well, I think that's about it. That's everybody.
Okay, Troy.
Isn't that sad? The salesperson only succeeded in selling the main items. Sure, we'd all like to sell the add-ons as well. That's the whole spirit of the thing. But I think you'll agree that using the trial close is a marvelous way to close the sale on at least that first or main item. And often the customers will agree to buy or at least take a look at that add-on. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happens in the next few role plays.
And another great thing about this particular frame is it's made of the pewter, which gives it kind of an antique look, and I think that will really, really complement your family photos well, don't you?
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it'll look great.
It's good.
You know what, I have a great idea. As long as you've got the perfect frame, how about a beautiful photo album so that you can display all your great family photos instead of sticking them away in a drawer somewhere? What do you think?
You know, I've been meaning to do that. It's a great idea.
Me too. I have so many photos in a drawer. Well, this one is excellent. It holds over 600 photos. I think you're going to love it.
Oh, I think I can.
Yeah, you know, since you used to ice skate, I think you'll really enjoy these.
Definitely. They look like a lot of fun.
Oh, great then. You know what? Let's get you set up with a helmet, some knee pads, and elbow pads, and wrist braces. Then you can get out and begin to enjoy your rollerblades right away.
You know, I have a helmet that I use for bike riding. Will that accommodate me?
Oh, sure, that'll work. Great.
Great.
All right. Right this way, and we'll get your right sizes for your knee pads and everything,
Thanks,
okay?
great.
Right over here.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Did you find everything you needed?
Yes, I did.
Well,
Thank
terrific. Looks like Father's Day, huh?
It's coming up, you know.
It's that time. This is a great frame.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking of putting all the grandkids' pictures in
Oh,
there.
what a cute idea.
Thank you, Kelly.
That's a great Father's Day present. You know, pictures in a frame. Take to work or something like that,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Okay, would you like a gift box for this?
Oh, that'd be great,
All right.
actually.
All right, and have you got gift wrap?
No, I don't.
Maybe think about gift wrap. You know what? We've got these great Are these great for Father's Day?
Oh,
'Cause
I
either of
really
these-
like this one.
I think it's a fun way to give a gift, even instead of just the usual gift wrapping, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
You like this one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do that. That's neat. Okay.
Well, now when you really get comfortable using the trial clothes, you can add on virtually anything that makes sense, even when the add-on costs a lot more than the primary item or the main item that you've been showing. Now, in this next role play, the salesperson really thinks big.
You know, this receiver should be perfectly compatible with your other components, don't you think?
Yeah, it looks like it'll do the job.
Yeah. In fact, you know, with the Dolby surround sound capabilities of this receiver, why don't we take a look at a big screen TV and some rear speakers so you really get all the benefits of your new receiver?
Well, that's a little bit more than I was planning on spending today. But we have been thinking about maybe in the future going to a large screen TV, but for right now, the receiver will be fine.
Okay, great. Why don't we write up the receiver for you so we can get you on your way?
Okay, great.
Well, he definitely deserves credit for trying, that's for sure. So the idea is to use this technique to close the sale, but also to keep adding on till the customer has everything they need to get the most out of their purchase. Give it a try the next time you're ready to close the sale. I think you'll be very pleased with the results. Well, welcome to our role plays on handling and overcoming customers' objections. I think you'll agree that it's a fact of a salesperson's life that customers will object from time to time. They're not always going to say, "I'll take it," when you ask them to buy, unfortunately. So the sad truth is this: when most salespeople hear an objection, well, they let the customers walk. And if there's one message that I'd like to deliver loud and clear at this time, is that the selling process is not over when the customer objects at all. In many ways, that's when the real selling begins. Often you'll find that customers' objections is something very minor, or something that you can easily rectify or clarify. Here's an example right here.
Okay, and I'm thinking, how about a really practical set of microwave-safe casserole dishes so you're fully equipped to start using your new microwave right away when you get home?
Well, you know what? I don't even think that we're sure about the microwave.
Yeah, you know, maybe we should just go home and maybe think about it for a little bit.
Okay, well, I can
Yeah.
understand that you want to think about it. It's not every day that you buy a microwave, is it?
Yeah.
But before you go, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you like this microwave?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's got the features we want, I think.
Okay, so you were happy with the auto weight defrost. I think that was one of the features you really wanted.
Yeah, you use that a lot.
very important.
Okay, and you were happy with the fact that this had the automatic rotating tray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for even cooking, that's important.
It's
ours
yeah.
does not have it
My
right
old
now.
one didn't have it either, and I
Yeah, you're supposed to
couldn't
stop it
live
and
with
turn
it.
it around.
I know,
Yeah,
you
that's-
just can't do that. Okay, and how about the price?
Actually, it's a great price. That's what brought us in here in the first place, was the price.
I agree.
It was very good.
Valuable pricing. Well, what is your concern then?
Well, you know, you were saying it before, weren't you, Jen?
Yeah, we really don't have the counter space for it.
Yeah, it's just so, it's much bigger than we thought. You know, in the ad it was a little picture.
Right.
It's a lot
Exactly.
bigger now. It's
Well, you mentioned the one that
this-
you had before was a really small one.
Yeah, this is going to take up the whole counter space, and we need to do other things on the counter.
Okay.
You know, than just have a
So
microwave
would
set.
would a smaller model still serve your needs if it had the same features that are on this one that you liked? Would it still be okay for you?
Actually, that'd be better, because we still have the counter space. We like all the features.
Right. We don't
we're-
cook huge
So
meals.
you'd
Yeah.
like to replace the one you have
With the same
with
size.
the same size but different
Exactly.
features.
With the more features, yeah. That's probably
That's
something
my
would be
fault. I wish I
interesting.
could have
agree.
showed you a different one, because we have another one that has everything that you're going to want that you liked on this one that's a smaller size.
And
So
a great
we're-
price.
Great price, too.
That's important. No, that's what brought us in
Definitely.
here.
You want to take a look at that one then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Now, if you're selling to a customer who's buying a gift for someone, they'll often object because they're having trouble buying an item that they don't like themselves. In this instance, sometimes all it takes is a gentle reminder that the person that they're buying for will absolutely love it. Let's see how our salesperson handles this particular situation.
What do you think?
Well, it would be kind of like buying just one lovebird.
Yeah, I'd kind of hate to split them up, too. You know what? I have a great idea. How about adding a matching plate so that your mother-in-law can make a nice little display in her curio cabinet? I think she'd really love that.
Gosh, I just really don't know. I'm going to have to think about it.
Oh, okay, well, sure. It's a big decision, and buying a gift for your mother-in-law can always be kind of difficult. You want to make sure you get exactly the right thing. Can I ask you a question, though?
Sure.
Do you like them?
They're okay.
Okay. I don't like to sell just okay merchandise. What's your concern?
Well, personally,
Yeah.
I'm just not that crazy about them.
You know what? I understand that because it seems like people either love these or they could care less. I know what you're saying. But you know what? I remember you mentioning to me that your mother-in-law said to you last time you were shopping that she loved these. She'd always dreamed of having one. And since they're really the kind of thing that people don't usually buy for themselves, I really can't think of a more perfect gift for her. And don't you think she's really going to love them, even though you're not too crazy about them?
Well, you're right. They are for her.
I think she's going to love them.
I do too.
Good decision. We'll wrap all three of these up for you then.
Great.
Now we've come to one of the most common and one of the most dreaded objections of all time, the price objection. Now we know that a customer's price objection will be based on one of two things. Budget, which is the fact that the item costs more than they were planning on spending, or value, that the customer doesn't believe that the item is worth the price. Now let's watch how our salesperson handles an objection to value.
What do you say we get a beautiful orange and black helmet to coordinate your look so you're looking really good when you take this out on the road for the first time?
I'm just not sure now. I'm starting to waver a little bit. It seems a little pricey for me.
The price of the bike?
Yeah.
Is it the price of this particular bike, or is it just more than you were wanting to spend?
Well, it's this particular bike.
Yeah. This one is a little bit more expensive than the other two you were looking at, but I think when you took them out for a ride, you could really feel the difference.
Oh, definitely. There's no doubt there. I mean, it's obviously the superior bike. It feels great. Rides wonderful.
Beautiful, smooth ride, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I get the impression with you, Lauren, that you're not buying this bike for fun.
No.
For an occasional ride or anything. You're making a lifestyle choice, aren't you?
Right, yeah. It's like we talked about before. I work out a lot, and I've been doing a lot of it in the gym, and I want to get a little bit out of the gym. I was thinking I'd get a bike, ride a couple 100 miles a week, just to kind of get a little closer, be outdoors and that kind of thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, the bike is a little more expensive, too, because it has a lot of details that aren't obvious to the eye when you first look at it, and they're things that you haven't even experienced yet, that you're going to experience as you really incorporate bike and the bike riding into your lifestyle. These are things like the index shifting and the cantilever brakes and the way the frame is constructed. This is a bike that's going to grow with you.
Okay.
It would be better to spend money up front so that you have everything you want and it's going to be there, when you want it,
right,
rather than not spend as much money, outgrow it, and you don't have the things when you want them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think we've all bought something that maybe if we would have spent just a little bit more at the outset, we would have been much happier. Something we outgrew, like if buying an instrument for a kid. If you don't pay much money and maybe you buy something that doesn't sound as good and the quality of the materials isn't as good, the kid may not play it as often and maybe it ends up over in a corner.
Right.
But if you spend a little bit more at the outset and the quality of the materials is better and the melodious sound is better, he's going to pick up, that instrument and play it.
That's true. I think that's what happened to my guitar playing days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Started out with the wrong one?
Yeah, exactly.
Something you outgrew.
There you go. I didn't like it that much, and, I just kind of, when I thought about it, it doesn't sound that great, and I kind of left it in the corner, as opposed to some other things where I really just I got a great one right, from the first day. And I just loved it every day. It was a joy to pick it up and, So yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, this is a bike that you're not going to outgrow, Lauren. This is going to grow with you. This is going to be just what you need to make that lifestyle change.
You know, I think you're exactly right. Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Great.
Let's get started on the form.
Sometimes, believe it or not, it can be just that simple. All the salesperson had to do was to reinforce the value of the item by pointing out special features and helping the customer to understand why it's so worth the price. Now let's see what happens when budget is the issue and pay particular attention to how supportive and understanding the salesperson is in each of the role plays when the customer voices an objection or somehow indicates that they're not ready to make a buying decision.
Now, you mentioned you're also taking an aerobics class. So, how about if we take a look at another pair of shoes, specifically aerobic shoes? That way you'll have all your athletic shoe needs met. What do you say?
Well, actually, I don't think so. I mean, this is the first place I've gone. I'd like to shop around a little bit more.
Oh, well, sure, I can understand that. I mean, you want to make a good choice when you're buying a pair of shoes, especially those you're going to be wearing that often. But do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you like the shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I really like them.
Good, yeah. I think they're nice looking. What about the style? Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, I mean, they're simple.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You didn't want anything with too much detail.
Right.
How about the fit? How do they feel on you?
Actually, they feel like they were made for me.
Good, good. That's the way a shoe should feel.
Yeah.
What about the price?
Well, the price is a little high.
Okay. Now, is the price of these particular shoes too high, or is it just more than you wanted to spend today?
It's a little more than I wanted to spend today.
Okay. How much did you want to spend?
Well, I don't know. I mean, these are just for kicking around. I'd say maybe $20 less.
Okay. Tell you what, I do have another pair of shoes that's actually very similar to these in about that price range that you just mentioned. So
right.
How about if I bring them out for you? You can take a look.
That'd be wonderful.
Okay. I'll be right back with those.
Thanks.
You know, there's an answering machine designed to complement this particular phone that would complete your telecommunications system. Would you like me to show it to you?
Well, I don't know. I just didn't realize it was going to be so complicated, picking out a telephone system. And I was just thinking maybe I should have my husband come back and take a look at it, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can understand you wanting to think about it. It's a phone you're going to be using a lot, and I can understand you wanting to talk to your husband about it first. But before you go, could I ask you a question?
Okay.
Do you like the phone?
Oh, I love the phone.
Do you like the large, easy-read display?
Oh, it's great.
Do you like the idea of the 50-number memory?
Actually, that feature is my favorite because I office out of my home, and so that's really going to come in handy.
Great, great. Oh, what about the price?
That's a bit much.
You know, things are a bit more expensive today. Is it the price of this particular phone that you think is a bit much, or is it just more than you plan on spending today?
It's more than I planned on spending today.
I see. Well, how much did you plan on spending today?
About $50 less.
You know, I have another phone that has similar features by the same manufacturer, which is more in your price range. Would you be interested in looking at it?
Sure.
Okay, well, come on over here. Now, here it is. If you notice, it has the display, and this one has a 30-number memory, and it's actually more in your price range.
Well, I really like that speakerphone feature that the other phone has.
You do, huh? I'll tell you what, let's come over here a second. There's one other thing I forgot to mention, is that the manufacturer is offering a 3-year warranty. That's for full parts and labor for 3 years on this particular model. Now, that's very unusual. Most phones, they offer a year, but the manufacturer is so proud of the technical craftsmanship that was put into this particular phone that's willing to back it for parts and labor, full warranty for 3 years. Now, it's nice to know that a manufacturer has that much confidence in their product, isn't it?
It sure is.
I think you should go for it. I mean, it just sounds like the phone that's perfect for your line of work.
You're right. I will. I'll take it.
Good.
Well, now in that last role play, note that the salesperson went right back to the more expensive item when the customer didn't seem to show an interest in the phone that was within her budget. He gave her another reason to buy the phone that she really wanted. Now remember, we've all spent more than we originally intended in a retail store. And when you're on to something that the customer really likes, give them every reason in the world to go for it. Now, sometimes it's not your customer who's objecting, but a friend or a spouse or a quote-unquote expert of some sort who inadvertently is trying to sabotage your great efforts. Well, this can be very uncomfortable for all of you. Obviously, you still have to handle the objection, and the way to do that is to appeal to the expert. Involve them in the buying decision. Get them on your side. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how this can be done.
You're making me so excited about playing tennis again myself. I tell you, how about we take a look at some fabulous tennis outfits that we just got in last week.
Oh.
So you'll not only have the tennis racket and be perfectly equipped, but you'll look great, too.
Okay.
You think?
You know,
Okay.
I still think this is way over budget for a racket here. You have a racket that you've been learning on, you know. I don't understand. It's not like you're going to be playing at Wimbledon here, you know. It's like you got a racket that works. I think before, you're not going to be playing against Agassi, for goodness sakes. You're going to be in the court with your girlfriends. You just don't need to put this kind of money out for a racket right now. You know, wait till later.
Yeah, but you know what? This one I can use much more. The other one's older, and it doesn't have the state-of-the-art.
I think she kind of likes this racket.
Yeah, I think I
she
kind of
likes
do.
it. She likes it because it's new. That's
You know what? There's another thing that I didn't tell you about this. One of the greatest things about this racket is that it has a graphite shaft, so it is very, very lightweight. I didn't even have to tell you. You felt that immediately when you picked it up. But what that gives you is you don't have to be a gorilla to get the power you need for overheads and baseline shots in particular. And I don't think, with the tennis that you said you've played before, I'm sure that I don't have to tell you the difference that it can make when the racket is working for you instead of against you. And, it's not just your arm that's putting the power into it, it's the racket.
We could play more.
Makes for a more enjoyable game. Don't you really agree?
I got to tell you, it does feel lighter.
Yeah.
It feels lighter.
Exactly.
It's like
You didn't notice it until I pointed it out.
Right.
Did you?
Well, she wouldn't let me touch it.
Well, I tell you what, listen, give her this. She's really excited about this, and she wants to play more. And I do believe half the battle of, your intentions of wanting to play more is if you have something that you're really excited about.
Exactly.
And it's going to make things more enjoyable for her on the court, then she's going to want to play more. And then your little objection there to her buying it will be negated. What do you think?
Are you going to use this if I get it for you? Huh?
Yes, I will definitely use it.
It's not going to collect dust in the garage?
No, okay. You can play with me.
Let's do it.
Great. Okay. All right, let me...
Well, isn't that terrific? But I'll say it again. The selling process is not over when the customer objects. Don't let an objection break your stride. Get to the root of it. Uncover it. Handle it. Get on your customer's side and overcome that objection and take that sale right to the finish line. Well, welcome to our closing module of role plays. And as we've said before, we won't be showing you any complex techniques in this stage of the selling process. You won't need them. If you've built a strong sale from the foundation up, you won't need to trick your customers into buying with a slick closing technique. You've earned that sale. All you have to do is ask for it. Take a look at a few ways to do just that.
And you can never have enough fonts.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Oh, yes. So would you like to go with the 500 font package or the 1,000 font package?
Definitely the 1,000 font package.
Okay, great. Why don't you follow me over to the cash register here?
Great.
And we'll get you all set. How'd you like to pay for this?
Credit card?
With everything you've told me about your cat, I think she's really going to love this scratching post. It's the right height. I think it's going to work out perfectly for you.
I think you're right. It's a beauty. But you know what? I noticed you had one over there that's smaller, but it's in brown.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you had one that was this size, only in brown.
Would you like it in brown?
I would love one in brown.
Absolutely, we can get that for you.
Terrific.
And how would you like to pay for these?
Well, let's do a credit card.
Perfect. Step over this way, and I'll have Tony get that brown one from the back.
Okay.
Well, now there will be times when you sense that your customer wants to buy, but just needs an extra little reassurance. In this case, something we call the third-party reference close can be very effective. Just tell the customer about someone else that you know who bought the item and was thrilled with it. Here's an example of the third-party reference close.
And I think this one should work really well around your eyes.
Well, I'm really impressed with the line, and I really like what you did with my makeup, but I'm still concerned a little bit about whether or not, you know, the shine problem is going to be persistent. Is this going to help me with that?
The oiliness of the skin. Again, I'm glad you brought that up because, like I said, I tend to have oily skin too, but the real test of these products was with my sister. She actually has very, very oily skin. In fact, she had a lot of severe skin problems.
Really?
Yeah, and she started using this line with the skin care that controls the oil, as I mentioned, and then with the foundation and the powder that give you that matte finish. And for the very first time, she controlled the problem with the oiliness in her skin. And so I think if it worked for her with her very severe oiliness, I think it's just going to be great for you. I think you'll love it.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take your advice.
Good.
I think I'll try it.
I think it's going to work really well for you. I think you'll be happy.
Great.
Okay, good. I'll wrap those up for you.
Usually, you'll find that closing the sale is as simple as recognizing a buying signal and acting upon it. Now, if the customer is pleased and lets you know it, assume that they are buying and get them set up with everything else that they'll need to complete the package. Let's go ahead and take a look at that role play.
Boy, if these clubs don't improve my game, nothing will.
You know they will. Well, okay, let's go ahead and write those up, and you've got to get the shoes you tried on, too. So if your game doesn't improve, you're going to start blaming your shoes. And then you'll just have to come back in here. So let's go ahead and get those as well.
Yeah, what the heck? Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
So you can see that when you've taken the time to build a solid sale every step of the way, closing the sale is merely a formality. But it's a necessary formality, that's for sure. So if your customer doesn't hand you their credit card or start writing out a check, help them out a little bit and give them the perfect opportunity to say, okay, I'll take it. Well, welcome to Confirmations and Invitations. This is such a delightful step, isn't it? Everybody is happy. And as you watch the role plays that follow, pay particular attention to the way the salesperson reinforces the good feeling that the customer has about making the purchase and confirms not only that they made a great choice, but why they made a great choice.
Okay, just sign right there.
All right.
Bob, I have to tell you, I really think you made a great choice in both games. I mean, video games are so fun for kids, but the one you picked out for him will be simple enough that I think he'll have some success with it because that's kind of tough on him when it's too difficult and they burn out. And the other one, I think, is complicated enough that you'll have some fun with it too, right?
I hope so. It's half the fun of playing getting these things. Being able to play with them with your kids.
Absolutely. I tell you, could you do me a favor?
Sure.
After you've played with them for a while,
Yeah.
I'd love it if you'd stop back by and let me know how much you're enjoying them. I'd love to hear.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Jenna, there you go. Gift
Great.
wrapped, all ready to go.
Thank you.
I think you made a beautiful choice. You know, when he gets a look at that wallet and sees the leather and feels how soft it is, the first thing he's going to do is put some money in it and take you out to dinner.
Oh, great. I like that.
Can you do me one small favor?
Sure.
Next time you're in the mall, would you mind stopping by and letting me know how much you enjoyed it?
Oh, great.
I'd really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks a lot. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks.
See you later.
You know, the invitation part of the confirmations and invitation step is especially important. Great service really does keep a customer coming back. I think you know that. So when you actually ask them to come back sincerely, you're giving them 2 reasons to return. More great service, and a salesperson who really does care about their satisfaction. Pay particular attention to the invitation this time. Let's take a look.
Here you are, Mrs. Dees. Here is your helmet and the water bottle and the other accessories we picked out today.
Great.
Yeah, you know what? If I may say so myself, I think you made an excellent decision.
Oh, so do I.
I think Bobby is going to love this bike. It's
He
the
will.
perfect size. He can ride it right now, and he still can grow into it a little bit. It is wonderful. Will you do me a favor?
Certainly.
Next time you're in the area, will you stop in and let me know how much Bobby's enjoying his new bike?
Oh, I sure will.
Oh,
I
great.
sure
Plus,
will.
you have to tell me about the look on his face when he sees it.
He's going to love it.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about it. Are you parked out back?
Yes,
Why don't I help you put the bike in the car?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Right this way.
Okay.
Okay, John, if you'll just sign right there, and then I will have Tony get that for you. Take it right out to your car. You know what? I think you made a great choice. I really do. Especially the CD changer, because with all the entertaining you do, it's going to be so nice to be able to have continuous music without having to worry about changing the CDs all the time, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I
And
can't wait.
It's going to sound great with your other components, too.
I think so.
Yeah. Listen, will you do me a favor? Next time you're in the neighborhood, would you just stop in, let me know how great it all sounds? I'd love to know.
Well, sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay, good. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Tony will bring that right out.
Oh, okay. Right here?
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Well, our role players and I have had a wonderful time bringing this program to you. Hopefully, we've focused on the fundamentals of selling expertly and providing customer service that is superior. But the thing that I find most exciting about these selling techniques is that they allow everybody to win. You can make bigger and better sales that bring you to a much higher level of success and personal satisfaction. And your customers can get great service that far exceeds their expectations. And you know, the thing that really brings these techniques to life and really makes them highly effective is your personality, your charisma on the selling floor. Add the enthusiasm that you have about your particular products that you sell, and you can't help but have a lot of fun being a great success. Well, with that in mind, I extend my sincerest wish that in life, all your problems are very, very small, but all your sales are very, very big. Well, congratulations. You're taking action. You want your store to have the competitive edge, and you're doing your part to turn that desire into reality. Action is really where it's at. Well, that's the foundation of our certification program. We believe that salespeople must also take action during the training process if they're to achieve the full benefits of the program and truly grasp the fundamentals of successful selling. Now, that's why the certification program is not a multiple choice quiz or a fill-in-the-blanks exam. Nope. The only way to get through this program is to understand both the technical and the subtle, artistic elements of professional selling. In order to complete the certification program successfully, the salesperson must verify their understanding by describing various techniques in their own words and demonstrate their understanding through role plays and supervised interaction with customers on the selling floor. Your commitment to guiding your salespeople through this process is absolutely crucial. Now, I'll be candid with you. This program won't work without you. Not unless you've got a staff of self-motivated salespeople who will elect someone coach and insist that that person know the technology better than anyone else in the store before anyone else takes the course. I think you understand that you're the person who's most qualified to take on that responsibility. And I really think you're going to enjoy finding out so much more about your staff's strengths and weaknesses on the selling floor than you have ever done before. You couldn't design a better method for evaluating your store's staff, but that's a side benefit. The real benefit is that anyone who takes this course, whether they're a seasoned veteran or a bright-eyed rookie, becomes more skilled right on the selling floor. But again, those results can only be assured if you see that they take the entire course, complete every essay, drill, and exercise, and do all the role plays that the check sheet calls for. Believe me, it's well worth the effort. So, what exactly is your role, and how do you get your salespeople to make the most of this program? Well, the first step is to understand it yourself. Take the course, do the exercises, watch the tapes, practice the techniques on the floor, and make the program work for you. Now, unfortunately, you may not have someone to guide you through the program as your staff will. But by using the coach's manual, you'll actually be checking to confirm your own understanding. Now, we believe that if you're in the position of being the coach in the first place, well, then you probably have the self-discipline and the high level of responsibility necessary to study the materials seriously and gain an understanding. Now, by watching the rest of this tape, you'll see how your staff will proceed through the program and what your role is. This will also help you to get started on the certification program yourself. First, each salesperson in your store is given a certification program check sheet for the program. The first few pages describe how the course is taken, and they'll delve right into the program. They'll watch video segments, read portions of the written materials, then complete check sheet exercises. Now, periodically, they'll come to you and tell you it's time for a checkout. Prior to checking them out, you really should review all of their check sheet entries that they've done since their last checkout. Look over those essays. See if the salesperson really understands the techniques and the theories behind those techniques. Now, your coach's manual will assist you in reviewing their essays in particular. You see, the major points that should be included in their answers are provided for you. But since the salespeople will be expressing themselves in their own words, well, you must use your best judgment to determine whether they should move on or need to study a little bit further. Now remember, your personal interaction with your salespeople and the feedback that you give them throughout the course is vital to the success of the program in your store. For example, if your salespeople are learning how to handle customer objections but never get a chance to role play with you or try out the techniques with real customers, it will only be information. It won't be real. So when it's time for you to role play with your salespeople, you can't hesitate to do it again and again if it's necessary. It's that important. Your tendency could be to just sign the check sheet and pass that salesperson on a drill simply because you can't spare the time to role play with them. Or maybe you feel sorry for a particular salesperson because he gets nervous at the prospect of role playing or having you watch his presentation. Now, whatever the case is, the more steadfast you are in making sure each salesperson succeeds, the more everyone wins. The customers for sure, the salesperson themselves, and the store, and mostly you as the manager.
Hi, Lynn. How you doing?
Hi, Ernie. I'm doing fine.
Good.
I think I'm ready for a checkout.
You are?
Uh-huh.
All right. How far have you gotten?
Opening lines, and it's time for me to practice opening lines with you.
Okay.
If I can do it.
So
well.
I'll be the customer?
Okay.
All right.
Great. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Great. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
I've been looking for a tie for my boyfriend, and that's just beautiful. Where did you get that?
Okay, well, how did you feel about that?
I kind of felt awkward to tell you the truth.
Did you? Okay, because it seemed that way to me, and I wasn't sure if you felt that way.
Okay.
Let's review the section here and
Okay.
see if maybe we can clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
Do you remember the rules for opening lines?
Yes, I do remember that. Nothing to do with business.
Okay.
Right? And it has to be a question to encourage conversation.
Right.
And then it has to be creative, unique, and special.
Okay. So you remember the rules. Now let's look at the opening line about my tie. How do you feel it fit within the rules?
It didn't have anything to do with business.
Right.
But it wasn't especially creative, I guess.
Okay. Well, it's possible I could have responded like, "Oh, I don't know where I got this tie.
Yeah, it
I
could
think
have been dead in the water, right?
yeah."
Okay.
So what's going on right now that would have been an opening line that would have gotten me to talk?
The hotel across the street just opened.
Yeah.
Maybe I could ask you if you'd been there and checked it out, something like that.
Okay. Why don't you try that?
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
Okay. Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Did you notice the hotel's finally open across the street, the one they've been working on?
No, did they finally open that? I
Finished
heard about it.
You've got to go. There's a beautiful fountain in the courtyard.
Wow.
It's spectacular.
Really?
It must be 50 feet.
Wow, I'll have to check that out.
I do. So what brings you into our store today?
Well, I'm going to check you out on your section.
Good, I passed.
Yes, you did. How did that feel?
Better. That felt much better.
You see how the conversation flowed a little bit more? Okay. Well, very good. Let me sign this for you here.
About ties.
Okay. And I'll date it. All right.
Thank you.
Here you go. And you got a few more sections here to work on.
Yep.
Call me if you need any help.
I sure.
Now, some salespeople may be anxious to get through the program quickly. Well, that's not the goal. Certainly, you want people to be proficient with the techniques in the program as quickly as possible because you're anxious to see sales increases. But you and your salespeople have nothing to gain by rushing through the program just to get it done. You must always remember that the goal is complete understanding and application of that information. Now, if you feel that a salesperson is going too fast, and it will be very evident when you're checking them out, then urge them to slow down and remind them that there's no benefit to rushing through the program. On the other hand, well, if a salesperson is grasping the material easily and can get through the course rapidly, then you have nothing to worry about. You see, you really control how long it takes for someone to finish. You're the coach, and you set the pace through your checkouts with each and every salesperson. Now, every individual learns at a different rate, and you must take responsibility for slowing them down or cheering them on when necessary. Let's take a look at a role play that gives that example perfectly.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great.
Good. You're in the demo, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. How far have you gotten?
I've just finished FABGs.
Wow, that's quick. You seem like you just started. Do you mind if I check some of your work here and see how you're doing? Okay. Geez, it looks here, I'm reading some of your features, advantages, and benefits. It seems like you have your advantage and benefit backwards. For example, when somebody is considering comfort, would you consider that more of an advantage or a benefit?
Well, I guess it really would be a benefit.
You think so? I think so, too. How do you have it written here, though?
Advantage.
Yeah, you have it as an advantage. You know, it's not all that uncommon that people mix those two up. It usually happens when you're going through too fast through the program.
I might be rushing a little bit.
Yeah, it's possible. You know what happens when you get to this section? You're halfway through and you want to get to closing and all of that. But this is the show step, right?
Yeah.
It's very important that you get this down. Let me ask you some questions.
Okay.
What's the goal of the demonstration?
To establish value.
Right. And how do we do that?
Well, you tell the customer why the features are advantageous and how they benefit them.
Right. Okay. Feature, advantage, benefit. Right.
Right.
And what do customers buy? Of those three things.
Benefits.
Right. And what were you selling them here?
Advantages.
Right. Okay. So I think you're moving through this a little quickly. What I'd like you to do is slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Backtrack. Rework those FABGs.
Okay.
And give me 2 more that aren't on this list here, so that I know that you just didn't correct.
So I'll rewrite the ones that I.
Rewrite
I'll
the
rearrange
ones.
those.
Right.
And
then give me a couple more, so that I know you got it. All right.
All right. Thought I was.
It's
doing
worth
so well.
it's worth the wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
You don't have to go fast through this.
Okay.
You're doing fine.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'll take care of this and let you know when I.
Okay. I'll come back and check your work.
Here's another important consideration. If a salesperson is checking out on opening the sale, for example, you have the burden of deciding whether his understanding is complete enough to move on to the next step called probing. But if the salesperson doesn't quite own this whole process of opening yet, I mean, really understanding all of its implications and why the techniques and strategies within opening the sale are so successful and essential, well, then allowing him to move on to probing might be a very large mistake. That salesperson of yours will only be able to kind of apply the opening techniques. Then it's likely that he'll only be able to kind of apply the probing techniques and so forth and so on. For one thing, it doesn't make sense to learn more when you haven't got a handle on what you just covered. It's like trying to learn how to complete an algebraic equation before you've learned how to add and subtract. In many cases, a salesperson becomes confused due to the weak links in the learning process. We all know that one weak link is enough to cause a break in the chain. So if one link or one piece of information is not fully comprehended, well, everything that follows has diminished impact, if it has any impact at all. When this occurs, the salesperson must go back and find that weak link and strengthen it by studying just a little bit more. And as you take the program yourself, you'll begin to realize that each of the steps become dependent on the others. Now, the better you open, well, the better chance you have of probing successfully. And the better you probe, well, the better chance you have of making a demonstration to your customers that makes them light up and want what you're selling. So if salespeople don't have a complete understanding of a step or even a single technique or concept within a step, well, it's your responsibility to help them find the source of that confusion, instruct them to study more, ensure that they've gained understanding, and encourage them to proceed with confidence.
Hi.
Hi.
Paul said you needed me?
Yeah, I need you to read through some essays and sign.
Okay. Where are you?
Right here.
Opening the sale?
Uh-huh.
All right, let me just borrow your pencil here.
Sure.
Okay. It may be me, but it seems like there's something missing here in this essay.
Yeah.
Let me just clear this up for me so I can sign you off on this.
Okay.
What's the importance of schmoozing or small talk with the customer?
So that they don't think you're just going for them to try to sell them something to make them feel comfortable in the store?
Right, okay. And what's the transition question?
Oh, that's when you say, what brings you into our store today?
Okay, now when is the appropriate time to do the transition question?
I would say I'd like to get to it as quickly as possible so I can start selling.
Okay, that's what's missing here. I thought that's the way I read it. Do you remember the goal of opening the sale?
Breaking down resistance.
Okay, and if the transition question leads us into business, and you get there as quickly as possible, might resistance not be broken yet?
Yeah.
Okay, when should you do the transition question?
After you're sure that you've established a rapport, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Why don't you reread this section?
All right.
And keep that in mind, that
Okay.
the whole idea of schmoozing and small talk is to break that resistance before we get into business. And I'd like you to rewrite the essay.
All righty.
Okay, I'm not going to sign you off yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll rewrite it.
You're close, though. You're
Okay.
close. Okay.
Close to you.
Call me when you've done that.
Okay.
All right. So you think you got it now?
I think I got it. I
Yeah?
rewrote the essay, and I think that you'll find that it's clear, and I've got a better idea of what it's
Okay.
really about.
Let me see here. So what did you find out?
I found out that I was definitely wrong about wanting to get into business too quickly, that I would probably just get a defensive shield. The customer would probably just still say I'm just browsing or something when I started to probe.
There you go.
So it's really important to establish a rapport and make sure that I make friends with the customer, in a business sense, but still
Right.
make them feel really great about shopping with me. And then I can go into probing and probably have a much better chance of selling them something.
Sounds like you got it.
Okay.
Is that